Good morning. It is currently 8:53 a.m. on Sunday, May 17th, 2015. I'm Christiana Ellis, and Luna has lots of stuff to bark at this morning. This is 5 more minutes. Yeah, so there's just, Luna is in a barking mood today. She's just seeing stuff out the window and hearing stuff outside the door, and she just has to bark at all of it. So today, wow, my hair is like extra crazy this morning. Today, I think I will talk about how I went to see Mad Max Fury Road yesterday. This movie is very good. Some of the reviews I've seen are using some hyperbole in them that I feel like is not what I would say about the movie. And I don't want to imply that there's anything about the movie that I didn't like. But like some people are talking about it like, oh my God, it has changed my life. I feel like I took drugs that allow me to see a secondary, better, superior world, and now I have stepped through the doorway into the pillars of eternity. And I wouldn't say those things. It's very good, and I think that there is an element when you're watching it of, there's this a little bit of a feeling like, wait, so movies can be like this? Then why aren't they all like this? So there is a little bit of that feeling when you watch it, because as previously mentioned, it's very good. But at the same time, I think when you read the reviews that have that extreme level of hyperbole in them, don't take it the wrong way. The way you should take it is basically just saying, yes, you should see this movie with a large degree of enthusiasm, as opposed to declaring this movie the vanguard for a whole new genre of action picture. It's very good. It's not like, I don't know. See, what sucks about this is that I feel like right now I'm in the position of damning it with faint praise, which is not what I want to do. I really, really liked it. I think you should go see it, period. I'm just interested and kind of amused by the extreme hyperbole that some reviewers have used for it on the internet. And I think that the reason that they are doing that is because perhaps, like I was, you might be looking at this movie thinking, why would I want to go see that? It kind of, like some people heard, oh, a new Mad Max movie, and it's a little bit like, oh, hey, there's a new Jurassic Park movie, or hey, there's Pitch Perfect 2, or, just like it feels like, oh, well, Mad Max, like all of those movies from the 80s, are they rebooting it again? And I think all the hyperbole in the various reviews is just an attempt to try to short circuit that and say, don't just think of this movie as yet another reboot of an 80s property, and maybe it'll be okay. Because while superficially you could say that that's true, it's actually, first of all, made by the same guy that made the others, so that's interesting. But it's also just, it does transcend what I think we think of when it comes to a shitty sequel made decades later. It's hard to describe, and I think that that's why people are resorting to such hyperbole. So just on a very simple level, the action is very exciting, generally pretty easy to follow, very visually interesting to look at, and the story, although simple, it's not dense exactly. It's very economical at communicating lots of information to you with just a gesture or a single line of dialogue without having to do any info dumping. It is extremely good at, like, it has one scene that takes probably less than a minute that does more than any other movie I can think of at explaining why all of these other cannon fodder guys just keep running to their deaths. I won't get into it here, but in a movie like this, you have to have a whole bunch of guys try to kill the heroes and have them be defeated, right? The cannon fodder, the normal non-boss enemies, right? Why would they do that? Well, this movie has a short scene that explains that very simply and in a way that makes sense and drives the rest of the movie and one of the primary character arcs for one of the characters. The movie's very good. Like, if you are at all interested in action movies, you should see this one. It's interesting, and it is good in ways that will lead people to be talking about it for a while, I think. And I think it will be very influential. And one last thing that I'm going to toss in here that a lot of other people haven't been saying, but I liked it in a lot of the same ways that I liked the Speed Racer movie. And I'm worried that when I say that, that's going to make people not want to see it. But I loved the Speed Racer movie because it takes a simple story, puts it in a very visually interesting universe, and conveys it with a lot of action and excitement and even humor. And so the tone of Mad Max Fury Road is very different. It's much grimmer, obviously, than Speed Racer. But they kind of press similar buttons in my brain. And so I would actually, certainly I think anyone who likes action movies should go see Mad Max. Speed Racer I can understand is more of an acquired taste just because it's so aggressive with a non-typical visual aesthetic. But I would also say that if you really like Mad Max and you haven't watched Speed Racer and you, maybe give it a try. Because I liked it, like I said, in a lot of the same ways. And all right, I've rambled enough. So go see Mad Max Fury Road. It's very good. I think you will like it if you go see it. All right. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow for 5 more minutes.